All right. Good afternoon. Thanks for coming. Sorry for being a couple minutes late here, just getting off the practice field. But yeah, recap of the game on Saturday. I don't feel too much different than I did after the football game. Obviously, I think a great effort by our team. Bittersweet that you go play really really well, and but you don't come out on top because obviously that's why you play the game. So lots of things to correct. Week one football. Moving on to week two here, and got another game this week, and really got to focus in on what we've done well, and continue to see if we can capture that, and then what we didn't do very well, we got to fix. So, good challenge this week with the team coming in here this Saturday. Fast football team, I think a well coached team, and we're going to have a great week of practice. So, I think we walked through today. We got home at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning or Sunday morning. So, yesterday is kind of, you got to use that as an off day for the players and try to get as much nutrition and fluids back in them as you possibly can. And then today's emerged Sunday, Monday type of thing. So with the anticipation at 7:15 tomorrow when we're back in the building that we're back on schedule here. So, good mindset, I think, a good focus on what needs to be done. I think our team has a really good heartbeat and a pulse of where we're at and what needs to get accomplished here. So, I think a good day.
What were the things when you watched the film? What stuck out to you?
I think just the physicality of what our team played with. I mean, for a good part of that game, we were toe to toe, on the line of scrimmage the entire time. I think that, there's a couple plays by a couple guys that are going to stick out in their minds forever. But as I still told them and told the team, if we put the amount of energy we put into those two plays or those three plays, we're kidding ourselves in the long haul in the process of this because there's, those players made other mistakes throughout the course of the game. And if they don't fix those ones, we're not going to get any better and we're not going to move forward. So I think it's about now going from week one to week two, it's capturing a process and perfecting a process of what it's going to look like for the next 12 to 14 weeks here, and fixing those mistakes. So, but a lot of bright spots. Really happy with our field goal kicker. Really happy with our young pup freshman punter. I thought our quarterback played really, really good for the most part of the game. I thought our defense was, gap sound. Some guys really flashed on the defensive front. Terrence Taylor had an exceptional game. Darius Alexander was really tough to deal with inside. I thought we tackled fairly well for it being a first game. We missed a couple that, we wish we'd have had back. But, all in all, if you watch college football across the board, I mean, I thought we handled the tackling piece of it pretty well for the amount of time that we really didn't tackle in fall camp with the veteran guys that we have. So I thought we ran it good at times, efficient on offense. And when we were 3rd and 7 under, I think we only missed one third down in the entire game. So, I think that's the formula that we got to stick to. We got to stick to staying ahead of the sticks and not self-inflicting and but teachable moments, right? Like, we're out there lined up in the first play of the game and, we're waiting on a defensive player to come off the field for Illinois like we're sitting at practice, and the refs are looking around, and, we're like waiting for Illinois to get set. Like we, go. You know what I mean? So a couple things like that showed up that we got to fix and get off the tape. But I think a good learning film and one that we can correct and move forward with.
What did you think? I'm pretty sure the 5 linemen, they played every snap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of the cohesion of that group and how they played against such a
Well, I mean, Tyler Long hasn't played football in over a year. David Wagugu's not played that many snaps in his career. Vinny's a vet. Vinny's had a lot of at-bats. Devin that's his first true full game where he's played every play. And Rossi, he's had, he's Cal Ripken. So he's had a lot of at-bats. So, I think that their communication was really good. We kind of made it a point all week long that if, we're either all right or we're all wrong, we can't be segmented on what guys are doing. And I thought their communication was good. I thought it was good from, quarterback to O-line when the plays got changed and then everybody was on the same page. So, but yeah, I mean, correctable things and things that we still have to fix. And I thought our tight ends on the edges were really good, in the run game. And Ant got a couple key catches. Wish he'd have came down with that one in the end zone on the corner route. But I thought he had a good game in the run game for sure.
You had, obviously, this game, there's different offensive linemen that played in the previous to the MAC title game, the bowl game, but it's 3 straight games where the line has really kind of stood out when previously there were some inconsistencies. Like, what do you think is like?
Well, I think, one, we've identified kind of I think who we are. Two, you know, the naked eye, you know, they judge all line play by yards per carry and quarterback sacks. I mean, and rightfully so. But to me, sacks are a quarterback statistic just as much as they are no line statistic. So, you know, his ability to keep us out of tough moments, I think, helps us. I think you know he saw in rhythm in the passing game on Saturday night multiple times where the ball's out of his hands quickly or on time to guys that are short receivers or intermediate zone receivers. We take our shots when we take our shots, um, but I think their communication up front has been really, really good, and I think you know sideline communication to quarterback, quarterback to offensive line, that's been really, really solid too. You know what I mean? And I think at this time last year, a totally brand new group of skill guys playing. Losing Devin Maddox in the game obviously hurt us and put Junior in a tough spot. And you know, Junior made some mistakes, but played his tail off. So, but for the most part, most of those guys that were out there are veteran players, and I think the rhythm and the consistency which you're allowed, you can get to the when the ball is snapped that you can get to that point in time at a higher rate and a more efficient rate.
Were you expecting Tyler Long to be able to play 87 snaps
No,
before?
no, you know, and fellas said they felt great after the game too. You know, what I mean, he's a tough hombre boy. I mean, that guy's a warrior. So, you know, third series, fourth series, how you feeling? And like staring a hole through me, like you're not taking me out type of mentality. So, great to see for him. Obviously, a great job of getting back to, you know, to be back with us and really, really, really worked hard for that moment. So glad to have him and really looking forward to a great year for him.
When you put in such an incredible effort of an ends and heartbreak, I know the leadership is kind of will determine how quickly you guys respond. In your years as a head coach, where do you think this team kind of ranks in your veteran leadership?
Yeah, I think tough question, but I think I kind of answered that a little bit last week when I said that you know there's probably 6 or 7 guys on this team that could have been captains in other years. Um, you know, I mean, we'll find out, and I would hate to lead down a path that we think that our culture will be defined based off wins and losses. I think really like the time frame of what our culture would be the long haul of the season and the appreciation for you know who they are off the field, the academic stability and the success they've had has been unmatched. The leadership of getting to this point in time and even to put ourselves in the situation that we're in Saturday night. Now, that's 9 months of work. There's 3 more months to finish off the year. But for 9 of the 12 months, 75% of the gig here, they've been outstanding. So I don't anticipate that to change. And if it doesn't change, then I would expect to have a good year, you know, and that's, you know, I just, you know, from experience, that's kind of how, that's where I see it going. And that's how I think that it plays itself out. But that is not going to be our last adversity. I can promise you that. You know, more is coming. And then the thing about college football, you just don't know when it's going to come.
Hey, just big picture, I was doing something on the importance of culture last week. Deion Sanders kind of had a comment that created some buzz in the college football world, saying unity doesn't matter, culture doesn't matter. You just have to get good players. I'm not asking you about Deion, but just how important have you've been part of a lot of teams over your years, good ones, great ones. How just can culture? I don't know. What is the importance of culture in terms of? I don't know. Have you had teams that are greater than the sum of their parts and teams that are lesser than the sum of their parts?
Yeah, I mean, I think the culture of your team is your guiding light in the storm, and the storm's coming. Like I said, it's going to get hard. I mean, this is not, um, you know, we just didn't lose the Super Bowl, and we're on to an off season here. Like we got a whole schedule in front of us, and another opponent coming in this Saturday. So, you know, I think it's easier. I mean, I think it's easier to lead at this point in time than it is maybe after you win 4 or 5 or 6 in a row. You know, when the little detail things start to become less of an importance when there's not a reset. You know, I tell our team all the time, it's not the fall that hurts; it's when you hit the ground. And the tough part of it is in sports, sometimes you don't know you're falling. So we got to do a great job making sure that we keep our eyes on the things that matter. And our group of guys that are in our locker room, I think, do a really good job with that. I think that having really good players makes things a lot easier. But when it gets hard, man, oh man, like this is not golf and this is not tennis. This is 11 guys on the field that have to be in cohesion at all times or you get embarrassed.
Can a college football team win big if they don't like each other?
Oh, man, I don't know. I've never been a part of one that has, so I'd be, you know, maybe other people have, but from my own experiences, I've never experienced that.
You alluded to Emilio Duran, true freshman, making the road trip. Several true freshmen making the trip. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Was that an inordinate amount of
Yeah, I still think we have a little bit of, we got a little bit of effect of COVID still on our roster with veteran guys. So, 5 years ago, maybe we'd have a better idea of like, is this normal or whether it's not. But you still got older guys on the team, and you still got, you're still bringing in young people. You have the transfer portal and things like that to supplement your roster in today's college football. So life's a little different. But yeah, I mean, Emilio on the trip, JD Willoughby on the trip, like some of those guys like that, I think are going to be bright players for us in the future and bright spots for us. But this because you didn't make the trip week one doesn't mean your career, the writing's on the wall for your career here. I mean, the guys that, I see a bunch of guys in the back that really did a good job of capturing what it meant to be a freshman and going through the transition that way at a high level. And if you're a really solid character person, you can embrace that and you can accept that and see a brighter path at the end of the tunnel for yourself than maybe what's staring you right in the face right now. So I'm encouraged by our freshman class. I know it doesn't have, it's not the number one rated class in the world, but I mean, there's 6 or 8 freshmen right now that I think that'll play next year for us, and maybe potentially a couple all conference guys out of that group. So, you look at one kickoff I showed today to the team, Nasir Bowers, Connor Wallensack, and E-Man were in on the tackle. So, I mean, those are 3 guys that are not starters, and nobody talked about those guys in the offseason, but they got the ball tackled on the 18-yard line against a Big Ten opponent in week 1. So I'd say they're doing pretty good.
Taylor battled through injuries last year, had a fantastic game against Illinois, named the MAC Defensive Player of the Week this week. How gratifying is it to see him back healthy and making that impact that you felt he could always make along the way?
Well, I mean, I think any player that has success, individually, that's going to make them feel really, really good. And obviously, young people, when things are taken from them that they put a lot of time and energy into, and football being one of them, that's a major part of their life right now. And anybody that's dealt with a season-ending injury or an injury that's nagged you for the season, I mean, I lived it myself, and I didn't even know who I was. I look at that guy in the mirror at 21 years old, the guy I saw brushing my teeth every day. I didn't know who that guy was. So when football's taken from you and stripped from you, you go to a place mentally, no matter how many people are patting you on the back, how many people are trying to pick you up, that's a difficult place to go into, and it's a difficult mindset to continue to try to plow through. I think, but it teaches you a lot about who you are as a man. It teaches you a lot about adversity in life, and it gives you the ability to create enough humility to work hard enough to come back and work. And awesome moment for him Saturday night to go out and play well on that stage, being from that state. And I'm probably pretty sure that he probably dreamt of going to Illinois coming out of high school and that kind of thing growing up as a kid. Maybe not. I don't know. But to go there and play like he did, was a really bright spot for him and a great individual accomplishment. And looking forward to making sure that he continues to have a great season for us.
First home game on Saturday, we're hearing quite a bit about some of the enhancements for the fan experience. That doesn't necessarily affect what you guys do on the field, but at the same time, it kind of does.
Well, we're going to enhance their experience with a good victory. So that's our part of it. That's our responsibility. Marketing and Brian Blair and his crew, I think, have done a great job of trying to, create a game day atmosphere here that would be one that the students on our campus are looking forward to attending, and that the faculty members can rally around and trying to create an environment here that it's not just about a football game, it's about community, and it's about our city locking arms and going in one direction here, which I'm all for that, and anybody that's all on board with the Rockets, I'm all on board with them. So I've always been that way and will always be that way. I think it's great for our kids to see a packed environment in a full stadium. They deserve that. They only get 6 of these at home, and why wouldn't we make this a stage for the entire country to see, man, what all the good things that are going on in Toledo, and this is just a small part of it. Like let's go visit Toledo. Let's go see what's going on there. I think that's key, and I think that any media platform that allows us to have to show and continue to push growth for our city, no matter what that is, that's a positive thing. So any enhancement they want to bring it. We're all for it. But our responsibility is to make sure that we put a great product on the field, and we'll work like crazy this week to make sure that happens.
You mentioned the positives early on, but going to a Big Ten, quality Big Ten opponent in week 1. I mean, not that you guys didn't have confidence or optimism going into the season, but does that help elevate that in the sense given what you guys just put together on something?
No, I mean it does. I think there's key things that I think you do pull from the tape, and it reaffirms, though. I mean, like, don't get this wrong. Like, we went there to win the football game and expected to win the football game. And That's going to be the case every Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, wherever we play, when we play, the rest of the season. That's not changing. So I said here a couple of weeks ago, you either run from the expectations or you run right to it. And just because we lost a football game doesn't mean we're not going to run right to it. So that means there's stiff challenges that come along with this. This means that you have to have a veteran group of guys that are really comfortable in their own skin of who they are as men and are up for that challenge, because that challenge takes elite requirements when it comes to the work that needs to be put in. And it's a gut check time to continue to be who you said you were going to be, and I think that's a tough thing.
You mentioned obviously still have obviously the rest of the season, obviously to accomplish the goals coming back home on Saturday. Does that kind of help?
Yeah, no, I think we're just looking forward to playing again. Anytime you taste defeat, you're looking forward for another opportunity to go and get that taste out of your mouth. And regardless, I don't. Like I said, I got a ton of respect for Texas Southern and what Coach McKinney and their group has done. I think they put together a good roster. It's a fast team. It's a team that'll come in here and it's going to challenge us. We got to be at our best. But I also think too, there's a lot of things that Toledo's got to fix about Toledo to continue on the path to what we want to get accomplished. And again, it's not a pot of gold awaiting for us at the end of the rainbow here. Like, this is a process that's got to be embraced. And we've yet to have a full true week. We won't get one this week just because Sunday had to be abbreviated because of the trip. And we gotta put together a better Tuesday practice tomorrow than what we had last week. That's for damn sure.
Devin Maddox looked like shoulder. Do you expect him to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long. I mean, he may be out for a little bit here, but I expect to have him back at some point in time. A tough kid. I think that will fight like crazy to get back on the field and wants to be out there. And you can probably see he's a guy that wears his emotions on his sleeve a little bit, visibly frustrated in the course of the game that he's not out there with his guys because he's put a lot of time into this. And last year in preseason camp, dealing with a hamstring that kind of nagged him and just wouldn't leave him, and then he gets back and he's running around like a brand new Cadillac out there, and then to have that happen, I mean, my heart hurts for that guy because I know the time, energy, and effort that he's put into this. So, but we'll get him back, and he's going to have a great year for us.
What would you think of Adam Beal and his production?
I thought Junior stepped up and did a really good job. I thought Adam stepped up and did a really good job. Both guys that I think are very reliable players. Junior's made a couple freshman mistakes that's going to happen, but when we threw him the ball, they caught it, and Adam ran a great route on the deep over cross route against the safety and a key moment there and got a big gain. Went in there, caught the punts, did a good job there, played on a couple other things in special teams, did a great job. So, but he's a vet, understands the game, works really, really hard at it, very accountable, and I'm not surprised to see him succeed.
And then how frustrated were you not being able to punch those 2-point conversions?
Yeah, I mean, you want to score every point. I mean, I want a touchdown on every drive, and if we don't prepare like that and we don't expect that, then I'm cheating these kids. So, yeah, I mean, I wish I had them back. I wish we could do it again, but that's not the game that we play. You get one shot, you got to hit them, and if you don't hit them, you live and play the next play. But you got to go look at the tape, and we'll be in that moment again. We'll be in that situation again, and we got to make the plays when they come up.